The Foundation was created to save humanity. But the coming darkness was always the turning point.
If you just finished Season 3 of Foundation, you're probably feeling a post-finale void. Here are the best shows and movies that capture the sweeping scale, political depth, and mind-bending ideas that make Foundation so incredible. 1. Andor. This is a Star Wars spin-off that focuses on a thief named Cassian Andor. We watch him transform from a guy just trying to survive to a key player in the Rebel Alliance against the Galactic Empire. It's a sharp, mature, and grounded show that looks at the day-to-day reality of living under an oppressive empire and the spycraft, politics, and sacrifices needed to build a rebellion. 2. Devs. This limited miniseries follows a young software engineer who believes her employers are responsible for her boyfriend's disappearance. Her investigation leads her to her company's quantum computing division, where they've built a machine that can predict the future. It's a thriller built around the question, if a machine can show you exactly what's going to happen, are your choices even real? 3. Westworld. It takes place in a futuristic Wild West-themed amusement park where lifelike androids called hosts are programmed to cater to the whims of wealthy human guests. It's a visually stunning show, and as the hosts begin to gain consciousness and memories of their past lives, it becomes a thought-provoking exploration of free will, identity, and institutions collapsing under their own contradictions. 4. Dune. In the distant future, the universe is run by a feudal empire where powerful noble houses control entire planets. We follow Paul Atreides, the heir to a family given control over one of these planets. Dune and Dune Part 2 are visual masterpieces that tackle themes of prophecy, destiny, and the concept of a chosen one. So if you love the sprawling galactic empires and complex political schemes of Foundation, you need to see them. 5. His Dark Materials. It centers on Lyra, an orphan living in a parallel universe where every human soul exists outside their body as a sentient animal companion. When Lyra's friend goes missing, her quest to find him leads her to a world-spanning conspiracy and a prophecy that foretells her destiny. It's a lush fantasy with spectacular world-building and a massive multi-world spanning story that tackles themes of free will and religion. 6. Altered Carbon. It's set in a future where human consciousness can be stored and transferred between bodies. For the mega-rich, this means they can essentially live forever. We follow a former elite soldier who's brought back to life after 250 years to solve the murder of one of these immortal elites. Like Foundation, it has a stunning visual style, and you'll enjoy its complex layered mystery where nothing and no one is what they seem. 7. Snowpiercer. The show is set 7 years after an ecological experiment goes wrong and the world is plunged into a new ice age, with the last of humanity surviving aboard a perpetually moving train that circles the frozen Earth. On board the train, the wealthy live in luxury at the front, while the working classes occupy progressively worse sections, with the very worst being at the tail. We follow the passengers at this section as they ignite a revolution to dismantle the current hierarchy and seize control of the train's engine. You'll be drawn in by its thrilling, high-stakes take on inequality, revolution, and the difficult choices people are forced to make to survive. 8. Dark. It's a German time travel mystery that begins with the disappearance of 2 children in a small town. The search for answers uncovers a tangled web that's trapped the town's residents in a seemingly endless cycle of cause and effect where the past, present, and future are all happening at once. Every detail in the show eventually ties into a larger, well-crafted puzzle, and it's also visually and tonally excellent with a moody atmospheric style that complements its heavy themes. So definitely give it a try. 9. For All Mankind. It presents an alternate history where the Soviet Union was the first to land a man on the moon. This single event means the space race never ends. And the show follows the lives of the astronauts and engineers at the heart of this competition to conquer the stars. Each season jumps forward about a decade, and you get to see how technology and society has evolved, and how the choices made in the past have affected the future. It's an optimistic, character-driven show that's widely considered one of the best shows currently on TV. 10. Raised by Wolves. After Earth is destroyed by a religious war, 2 androids are sent to a new planet to raise a new generation of human children and start a new atheistic civilization. But their peaceful new world is thrown into chaos when a ship carrying the devoutly religious human survivors arrives, bringing the old conflict with them. It's weird, unsettling, and often surprising. And it examines how belief systems are built, how they mutate, and how they ultimately drive humanity. 11. Station 11. It jumps between the early days of a plague that wipes out most of the population and 20 years later, where a traveling group of actors and musicians journey between the scattered survivor settlements. It's a beautifully told and surprisingly optimistic take on the apocalypse, and it argues that art, stories, and shared culture are what make life worth living. And that's the list. Let me know which show you're starting with in the comments, and subscribe for more.